Well, here we are again, back in Mittenrahm, in the Brakenrahm, and yeah, so making progress. The Gorgon is finished. The roof is not done. I keep attacking it, and it keeps repelling me. But everything else was done, so I moved on to starting another boat, and I keep revisiting the roof. This one is it finished, or I'm under the sense I'm sure there is something I was not finished with. I know it doesn't have the usual fences for rigging that people prefer, like to use, but I don't like it. I don't like the way that it looks. I've never used it, even though it used this particular sail looking very silly. The others you can get away with it, but that one not so much. Oh, that was it. Yeah, I need to do something with this space. Probably this. I did experiment using the originally intended earth colors to do the join between the constructed ship and the rocks it was sat on. This was originally done with the earth colors, so at least started before I swapped it, and I've never been completely satisfied. But now that I look at this, I'm not particularly satisfied with either of them. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. I mean, this is based on the end island. I've used this to do the end island, so down there. But yeah, I don't quite know. I'm not really sure what the solution might be here. But yeah, I'm fairly pleased with it. I've had an idea about how to handle this one. There may only be one of these done. I'll probably start with a lower one. I feel like this one may block the exploding one, and I'm not happy with that. Although I may be able to raise it, but if I raise it, I'm blocking the back one. But I've also had ideas about how to create small variants of these three ships rather than... I mean, I'm obviously never going to do an exact clone, but still, I could do with a little extra, which I've got one or two ideas about. But let's take a closer look at the Gorgon. So I think these were started, or at least one of them was mostly in place. Just a little feeler that I was doing to see how it felt, see how it looked. And yeah, not too bad. I think I may have mentioned I wanted to do this, and then there was like no room for it to go in. And then I was like, I can do this, and I took another look at it, and for some reason I was just like, I can make this work. I just need him to be hanging, partially laying, and just be hanging over the edge. So any kind of sitting posture was gone, lowering the head, because I think I've literally got no room anymore. Yeah, that's it. So even now I was just looking at it and thinking, this would probably work better if his head was only an angle downwards, like the opposite of what these are. But as you just saw right there, there's actually no space to do it. So I'm stuck with it as it is. Yeah. Still got all the blocks I need to screw around with the roof. I took a shot with this one, doing something a little bit more structured. It would be nice if I had half slabs for these, because I think I would just use them and that would be it. Not too bad. I've tried incorporating this concept into this. I think it's a bit too bulky, maybe. And it maybe overall I might benefit from just doing a pan. It's usually how I handle roofs. I put the design in them. It's not too bad. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it, but I never envisioned a purple-green roof. I just envisioned a purple roof, so I'm reluctant to, well, it's not that I'm reluctant to stray from it, but I'm kind of attached to the purple roof bit. And looking at this again, I feel like this looks so much better than the mangrove. I think I might have to readjust those, maybe. Oh, I want mangrove on this side for this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take another look at that. I think I'll do this to match the other side. And then I can sort of sit back and see them both together. And figure out whether I really want to do it that way. I also still then would have to do these two roofs. Which, you know, these will be trivial because I can get away with what I'm doing here. That one down there as well. Other than that, oh, there's guns still left to do. I need 2 guns here, and I think there's supposed to be a couple of guns hanging off the bottom. I've been doing them in bits and pieces. I only just got around to doing these guns yesterday. They're not too bad. They're a little cramped where they are. And the space for them on the ether end, because they're the same size. The openings are taller, and you don't have these in the way. Like, you can't get in these gun bays from out here, and I think you still can on the ether end. Although in the end I actually put in holes underneath the cannons. Whoops, I think that's a mistake. Yeah, I may have to do this, put them down into the floor and go all the way up. Much more room. And I think it'll probably look a little better. Not that it's going to matter much. For a few people are going to get a close look at it. So yeah, this guy. The fins on the side, late edition. Looking at them now, thinking maybe not the best spot. Also thinking maybe the top one could go back one. At least this. The brick part. Don't know. I regret trying them on an angle. And 3x3 was done because it meant that there was a center point. 3-in-1 rather. I'm going to be trying a 2-in-1 on the next one. I think that the greater angle will allow me to better angle the sails. Improved quite pain. I never put a crow's nest in. I suppose I really ought to. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Obviously, very focused. It's always nice when I can show what they're working on in one single shot. And let's go back a little bit further. Here we go. Yeah. So far, so good, I suppose. So it just occurred to me. You're going to see something in a minute, and I'm not going to tell you anything about it. So, there. Let's take a look at this. Okay, anytime you want to finish loading. Bloody hell, it's not a thing to do to me. Wow. Okay. Well, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I kept moving this one back. I think I moved it back like 12 blocks maybe. And I then extended the front and the back more than I intended to, kind of bringing it up flush again. So if I'd left it alone, it would actually stick out slightly further forward, and that would have been nice. Or if I'd not, or moved it back further. So, either way, it's ended up too level. And I suppose it's a bit tricky to tell what's going on from back here. I've considered trying to make the sails slightly bigger. But you can see the exploding one isn't going to block this one, so that's okay. This guy isn't going to block the exploding one either, but it is going to block this one. And maybe... I don't know. Because this guy down here is well out of the way of everything. I think I've mentioned there will be barges, so there's still going to be stuff to go in between, but I feel like this is not quite hitting the spot that I intended it to. I don't know whether this one's too far forward, this one should be further forward. I don't know if it's, the arrangement of them. I don't know whether I could just improve this situation by sticking in structure blocks or finally using World Edit and moving some stuff. At the moment I just feel like it's just taking up space and what would the word be? Cluttering the image, I suppose. I mean, it looked pretty barren. Not pretty barren, but there was obviously a lot of empty space. But the whole time I've been sat here thinking I'm going to fill it. There will be a whole battle going on here. The Grey Knight ship is going to be down here somewhere. Probably an inversion. So the Grey Knight one will be here. There will be one here, and then the other two maybe up here. Something along those lines. There's no point crowding up this space too much because you won't be able to see any of it. Oh well. Ever on.